Hi, I'm Joey.
And I'm Grace.
And this is What's the Crime? And today we're talking about the Bermuda Triangle.
Ooh. Okay, so you're probably thinking, like, what even is the Bermuda Triangle? Or you know, and you just want some more info on it. So basically, the Bermuda Triangle is like a rough triangle shape of a section of the Atlantic Ocean, and then the three angles are Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. And dozens of planes, ships, and airplanes have disappeared within the triangle, which is why we're covering it today, because it's very mysterious. And there have been many other mysterious disappearances than any other frequently traveled place in the ocean.
Creepy.
Ooh.
Are we actually going to do that during this?
The whole time.
Okay. So the legend is that it's also referred to the Devil's Triangle. It covers about 500,000 square miles of the ocean on the southeastern tip of Florida. And so when Christopher Columbus sailed through the area on his first voyage, I always say voyage first, because it's a fancy word.
Bon voyage.
Exactly.
Wait, why don't we say it? Oh, that's weird. Let me see.
I know, it's French, right?
Bon voyage.
And so when Christopher Columbus sailed through the area on his first voyage to the New World, he reported a great flame of fire, and then later assumptions are it was a meteor, and it crashed into the ocean. And then another occurrence was that a strange light appeared in the distance a few weeks later. He also said his compass had erratic readings, but it might have been because of the silver of the Bermuda Triangle. It's one of the few places where it lines up between true north and magnetic north. It goes whoop. Also, William Shakespeare, one of his plays is The Tempest, is potentially about a real-life experience in the triangle.
Okay, so some real-life stories and things like that. Pilots of a squadron of U.S. Navy bombers became disoriented while flying over the area, and they crashed and drowned, and the planes were never found again, which was a little suspicious.
And there's been a few cases with the U.S. Navy involving the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's a
And so
area.
people often think well, what if it's storming? That's very self-explanatory. But other boats and planes have vanished from the area in good weather without even radioing their messages of distress. So that it's just bad weather, that's just not it.
That is a reason why it's become so suspicious as a case, because there's just been too many cases that are unsolved within that triangle.
Mm-hmm.
And as we get into later in this, they've never really found evidence of any of these.
An infamous tragedy occurred in March 1918 when the USS Cyclops, a 542-foot-long Navy cargo ship with over 300 men on board and 10,000 tons of
Manganese.
No.
Manganese. Yeah, it's manganese.
No, remember it was manganese. An infamous tragedy occurred in March 1918 when the USS Cyclops, a 542-foot-long Navy cargo ship with over 300 men on board and 10,000 tons of manganese on board. The ship sank somewhere between Barbados and Chesapeake Bay, and they never sent out a distress call despite being equipped to do so. And an extensive search found zero wreckage.
Next.
Weirdly, in 1941, two of the sister ships of the Cyclops similarly vanished without a trace, doing almost the same exact route. So, two ships who were similar to the Cyclops going the same route, and they disappeared also.
Maybe it just was because they took the same route. Fate decided for them.
Maybe.
Um,
What is that noise? Do you hear that? It's like. Do you hear that? Is someone like hitting something? Okay. In December 1945, 5 TPM Avengers torpedo Navy bombers carrying 14 men took off from Fort Lauderdale. And in order to conduct practice bombing, they ran over some shoals. But their compasses malfunctioned, and the leader of the flight got severely lost. All the planes flew until they ran low on fuel and ultimately had to ditch at sea. That same day, a rescue plane and its 13-man crew disappeared. After a massive search party that lasted weeks, the Navy report declared as if they had flown to Mars. And then a real quote from one of the lieutenants says, "We can't make out anything. We think we may be 225 degrees northeast of base. It looks like we're entering white water. We're completely lost."
when we were doing research on this, it took us a while to figure out what shoals were.
They're like
Basically,
cliffs.
It's like cliffs, but like it's land in the ocean that are like visible. So like the Navy, like when they're doing their practice run, they go over to those open lands or like far enough from like home to bomb and practice bombing, I guess.
Mm-hmm. In October 1951, a ship called the Southern Districts disappeared after being seen near the Bermuda Triangle. 4 years later, the only piece of evidence found was a life preserver with the ship's name on it. It was discovered on the Florida coast, and this was the only case of evidence from a wreck, ever.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, it's just weird how all these planes, ships, whatever it is, has disappeared. In like this one case, it's the only case I've read that had evidence that came back from it. I think that's just something is not adding up.
Yep.
That's all I have to say. So let's get into the theories. So paranormal writers have blamed the triangle's supposed lethalness on everything from aliens to Atlantis and sea monsters to time warps and reverse gravity fields. So I'm going to get in about Atlantis because there's more theory on about Atlantis, obviously. Regarding to aliens, don't even tell me that's the thing. Anyway, so Atlantis was written by Plato. It was supposedly an ancient naval power, but according to legend, the entire kingdom disappeared into the sea in just one day. Hundreds of years later, in 1970s, a writer named Charles Berlitz hypothesized that the entire city was actually a victim of Bermuda Triangle and now thrives beneath the sea within the triangle's bounds. Berlitz theorized that the technology of Atlantis was so advanced that it continues to contribute to the mysterious sinkings of ships and planes. Obviously, for me, I have no belief in this theory at all. If land sinks, people are dead. We can't survive
And also,
in the ocean unless you like live in a submarine down the ocean that lasts for 80 years.
Yeah, and we're not getting into this again, but there could be other life out there, but I don't think it's necessarily aliens, and I don't think they could cause the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, no. We think there's life out there, it's just
not aliens.
Yeah, because that's just a whole dream of somebody's that just turned into something unnecessary.
Yeah.
Anyways, so scientifically minded theorists have pointed to magnetic anomalies. Watersprouts are huge eruptions of methane gas from the ocean floor. And so, like, again, with the magnetic thing, there's, like, true north and,
magnetic north.
Yeah. And so, like, you have to think about that when it comes to the science side of that whole region.
I think that's, like,
one of the more plausible theories. Yeah, definitely. Okay. One theory is that the Bermuda Triangle is just a naturally dangerous place to travel. Most hurricanes and tropical storms in the Atlantic pass through the Bermuda Triangle, and the storms and unpredictable atmospheric conditions can cause phenomena such as watersprouts. Moreover, the Bermuda Triangle has some of the deepest underwater trenches within it. So like, there's the ocean floor, but like these like the ocean floor and
But then there's
like
drop-offs.
Yeah. That was one of the more deeper
That
parts of
have
the ocean. Like I don't think anybody's been
creepy animals in them.
Yeah, no, like I don't think scuba divers or submarines been able to get all the way down there.
Yeah, we don't even know what's down there.
Yeah, exactly. So back to the magnetic theory. The Bermuda Triangle is home to a magnetic phenomenon where true north and magnetic north line up. Research suggests that a circumstance such as this affects compass readings. Science also suggests that lightning during storms may intensify the magnetic fields, which could account for compass failures and radio interference. Because compasses are magnetic, like even though they're based off of the plane and everything, they're very magnetic. And it does that little switchy thing. Switchy thing.
They can do this.
This one is technically a scientific theory, but it's not really that plausible. So the Bermuda Triangle is a gateway to another universe, or in scientific terms, a black hole. Some suggest this may account for the fact that travel times throughout the regions are often unpredictable. So what they mean by like the travel times is that like if you're leaving from Florida or South Carolina or wherever from that area, say you're going to Spain, it would be like a shorter flight than going to like France, even though it would be like the same distance. For some reason, it makes time, apparently to all the stories of it, time has always been so weird throughout it,
Yeah. What do you think's what's your theory?
I think something is definitely going on there. There's a fine line between scientific and unnatural occurrences, obviously. But I think definitely no aliens are involved in this. Definitely, like, no Atlantis that's involved in this. Like, yeah, a merman decided to sink a ship. Like, seriously? Like, he's swimming up there, he's like, oh, let me use my little pitchfork.
Yeah. I think it's the whole, like, true north, magnetic north thing, because, like you said, compasses are based all off of magnets, and, yeah, it just makes sense.
Yeah, like, that's just the most logical idea. And I think the only reason, like, all of these, like, random theories came up is because there's always never been no evidence found except for that life preserver. And if you think about it, you have to remember that the ocean is so deep in some areas, and some areas there's only been like 5% of the ocean discovered, right? Like the ocean floor, not even just the ocean floor has been discovered. So there's so much out there, like
We don't know.
We still don't know what's there. Obviously, there's some like trenches where like it reaches probably like the Earth's core or something like that, But yeah, I think everything just revolves around science
Yeah.
regarding to Bermuda Triangle. Sid, any words?
On what?
What do you think happened? What do you think happens in the Bermuda Triangle?
I don't know. Things go. Isn't it just like one giant storm?
What?
Did you never see that movie with like The Rock and they like get sucked into the triangle?
Journey?
Yeah, Journey to something like that.
I love that
where
movie.
they like go to the other worlds.
Yeah, that's one of the theories. It's like
It's a
like
giant storm.
another universe.
Yeah. I just think it's a giant like hurricane storm and that's why people disappear or like die.
But there's not storms going on in it all the time, though. That's the thing.
No.
Alrighty, so that is the story about the Bermuda Triangle. So thank you for watching. Be sure to listen to our podcast on the Night Aaron website. And as always, bye.
Bon voyage.
We'll be back in. Hold on.
Oh!
Is that good? Look at the camera.